Dawson Rider with you.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here. Welcome to my review for the US airing for Power Rangers Beast Morphers Episode 12, Real Steel. And this is an appropriate shirt for this. I decided to forego my usual uniform since this shirt finally came in. If you want a Justice for Beastbot shirt yourself, there's a link in the description. Hey, this was a solid episode, I thought. I actually think that of the second half since the return, it's one of the stronger ones for a couple different reasons. It's a Nate and Steel focused one, so it kind of focuses on their relationship, but it also has another villain plot going, which is part of the villains, you know, continuously trying to one-up each other, and it's actually a Blaze-driven plot. A lot of it is Roxy usually coming up with the sort of smart plans, but this was a more Blaze-driven one, where they basically they want to scan one of the Rangers so that they can infiltrate the base just to basically mess with the Zords and stuff. And they wind up scanning Nate, so it's a pretty smart plan. I think if I remember right in my original review for the international airings, I was saying, you know, they could do like way more damage with this. I mean, they wound up getting caught by Steel, but in the time before they got caught, they could have like planted bombs and a bunch of other stuff, or, you know, planted a virus for the whole system or something. But like, obviously, it's Power Rangers, are not going to do that. But still, by villain standards, especially during the last few years where the plans usually just attack, I have a plan. Attack. Kind of nice to see actual smart villain plans. And since it was Nate doing that, the fake Nate, it kind of played into the plot with Nate and Steel, where they were butting heads because Steel's trying to learn all he can about being human, and he wants to learn about sports, and Nate's not into sports, and he gets kind of jealous that he's able to do that with Devin and the others and stuff, and that kind of comes out at the end, and it kind of makes Nate a little bit crabby because he doesn't like sports, and it just kind of makes him feel excluded and a little bit, I don't know if inept's the right word, but like ill-prepared to help Steel with that aspect of being human since he's never played basketball. Like, I think I said this before too, but they could have picked a more difficult sport to understand. I mean, you could literally just play horse or just shoot the ball at the hoop. Catch you on the flippity flip. I did kind of like the interplay with that, and it gave a bit to their relationship and a bit to their characters, and I like the way that it tied in with the fake Nate, because Steel was trying to get along with Nate more, like he didn't want to upset him, so it made him more agreeable when the fake Nate was trying to get him to help him with stuff. But then he ultimately figured it out, and there was a really funny line, honestly one of my favorite comedic lines in Beast Morphers so far, when he says, or fake Nate says, once Steel figures it out, he says like, oh, you figured it out, you're not as dumb as you look. He's like, don't let my looks fool you. I'm very, very dumb. It reminded me of this line from Happy Endings, which was, I'm not as dumb as I am. Like, I thought it was pretty funny. But I liked the way that all worked out. It was kind of a decent mix of like the Ranger A plot with the fillery character plot that kind of was woven together so that they worked in tandem. So I appreciated that, and I like seeing the villains proactive, and I like that it was actually a Blaze plan. Something else I also liked about this episode was we got to see at the beginning, and I think at the end of the episode too, Nate working on the cheetah claws, and I always appreciate when there's a build-up to stuff like that. I feel like I often have that complaint in many different Toku series, whether it's PR or Sentai or Rider, where when they get intros, sometimes nowadays it feels very rushed. And honestly, for weapons and stuff, I'm not necessarily expecting a huge intro, and this isn't like a huge origin story like, oh, how'd the claws get there? But I like when stuff like that has a cool build-up and it feels like something that's been present and been in the works. So seeing him start to work on them was a cool bit. Like, I like that. Like, even if you haven't seen the international airings, you know that that's something coming around the corner for both using them and for like a little battleizer thing that we got pictures of way back when. And then there's the toy, which I think is out. Yeah, it's out. I have it. I was thinking, did I get that from Australia? No, that's just the airings, not the toy. It is that I really liked that. Like, this episode had a lot of little things I liked about it, and there wasn't too much ridiculous things other than just, you know, Nate, the way Nate treated Steel at the beginning was just justice for Beastbot's material. But yeah, overall, I thought this was a very strong episode. I think, like I said, I think it was the strongest one since the return, because it did a good job with the villain plot that was actually smart. It was kind of furthering the villain's general plot line. It tied nicely in with the character story of the week. I thought there were some nice moments with that, some funny moments too, and I liked the little details too, such as, you know, him working on the cheetah claws, which was nice. So I honestly enjoyed this episode. I would overall give it an 8. Not perfect, but I thought it was a pretty strong balance. Next week is the Tuba episode, so everyone get prepared. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but there's going to be Tubas next week. So anyway, this one time at Beast Morphers camp. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps, entering that bell, see notifications for my videos. And like I said, I will put a link in the description as usual if you want to check out these shirts at all. Till next time, Dawson Ryder, signing out.